Welcome to another edition of Bet with Bobano. It is Thursday, August the 22nd. Ian Cameron with you. A little later start time today, but we are here and ready to go and ready to look at the remainder of this Thursday MLB card. And we'll also look at the two NFL preseason games taking place tonight. We'll see if we can give you some opinions on those. In the meantime, let's start by talking about, of course, crypto sportsbook and casino, the one that I recommend sponsoring the show, bitwallet.bet. Bet smart, bet anonymously. I have started using this sportsbook, deposited some Bitcoin into it recently. It's a very good sportsbook. All the major sports betting options internationally and from North America available, as well as live betting, same game parlay live betting, which is an awesome, cool feature. Live casino dealers with the casino games as well. There's the link, bitwallet.bet, the affiliate link, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Click that link, sign up for an account with that link, and once you do, you will be eligible for a 50% crypto deposit bonus with each of your first 3 crypto deposits at BitWallet. So again, the link is posted on the screen now. It's also posted in the comments section below this video, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Sign up for an account by clicking that link, and you'll get a 50% bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at bitwallet.bet. Also, we want to talk about the fact that the time is running out on the 6 months all sports discount at Dub Club till Saturday. So you've got today, you've got tomorrow, and you've got Saturday. Saturday is the last day. And then the price for 6 months all sports at Dub Club goes back to $400. It's $250 for the next 6 months. Again, all sports now through February included, the entire NFL and college football season over those 6 months, the rest of the MLB and CFL season, the rest of, or I should say a good portion of the NHL, NBA, and college basketball season coming up in the fall. All of that will be included with your 6 months all sports subscription. $250 US for the next 6 months, $150 off, but only until end of day Saturday. So now is the time to get involved with that at Dub Club. 22.2 units of profit, NFL and college football combined. So again, make sure you sign up for that 6 months all sports discount, which is only available until the end of the day on Saturday. The other options are 1 month all sports, $75, 3 months all sports, $200, 1 year all sports, $750 at Dub Club, where you get the high volume card, every wager, every day, in every sport, sides, totals, and player props. If you're looking for something lower volume, more selective, and top plays and best bets only, sign up at SoBet. That would be the option that you would probably prefer, $9.95 per month for just best bets and top plays only in all sports at SoBet. All right, there you go. Let's get to the rest of this Thursday MLB card. We've got 5 more games to go. Cincinnati Reds and Pittsburgh Pirates. Nick Lodolo, the lefty for the Reds. Paul Skeens, the sensational rookie for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've got Pittsburgh minus 140, home favorites, 7.5 being the total in this game. Nick Lodolo for the Cincinnati Reds. He's hit some speed bumps, I guess you could say, in some of his most recent outings. 8 runs allowed to the Kansas City Royals in his last start. We'll see if he can bounce back from that here tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's going to be something to watch for. Unfortunately, the Pirates are pretty, for Lodolo, that is, the Reds are, or the Pirates are pretty good against lefties, 280 average against lefty pitching in the last 10 games. Meanwhile, Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know, he hasn't been pitching as deep lately, and he's not been nearly as dominant. He's given up some runs. Last start, or the start against the Dodgers, he struggled a bit more. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 6 innings. We'll see how he fares here in this game against Cincinnati. Now, keep in mind, he shut down the Reds 1 run in 6 innings earlier this season in June, but this is going to be a second look, and there's not many teams that have gotten a second crack at Paul Skeens this season. So, you know, you'd think first thing you think of with Paul Skeens is he's going to dominate. Pittsburgh's going to win. The game's going to go under the total. I'm neutral on the side. I lean Pittsburgh a little bit because I think they can get to Lodolo, and they have good numbers against lefties of late, and I still probably think Skeens is the better arm. But Skeens hasn't been completely shutting things down. I actually grabbed a little over in this game. Over 7 minus 120. Shop around. There are still a couple of 7s out there. Some books have it at 7.5. I actually took a small shot on the over here at 7, figuring, you know, it's a low number. Lodolo's form and the Pirates' ability against lefties lately has been quite solid. And you're getting at least 2 runs being allowed lately by Skeens, even for as good as he's been. So, and neither bullpen is one that we fully trust. Pittsburgh's bullpen has had their share of issues throughout the course of the season. 4.86 ERA from the Pittsburgh bullpen overall. And the Cincinnati bullpen was used quite a bit in their series that just completed against Toronto without a day off as well. So you could get some runs late if you still are in need of this game needing to go over the total. So I grabbed a little over 7 in this game at minus 120. I lean to the Pirates side in this one. I just didn't want to lay a price like minus 140. All right, next up, we've got the LA Angels and the Toronto Blue Jays. In this matchup, it looks like we've got Burke on the mound for the Angels, Burr on the mound for the Blue Jays. We've got Toronto minus 140 home favorites, 9 the total in this game, shaded to the under. It's going to be a bullpen game for the Blue Jays. Ryan Burr is going to be the opener, and then Ryan Yarbrough is going to take over after him as the primary pitcher in this game, the veteran lefty. So we'll see how he fares. 3.95 ERA for Yarbrough. He will, as I said, come into the game after Ryan Burr in this game. It was going to be Griffin Canning getting the start initially, it looked like, for the Angels, but it's been changed here, and it's going to be the lefty Burke instead. Again, primarily this is going to be a bullpen game as well for the LA Angels. And the one thing we know about the Angels and Blue Jays and why they are not very good teams this year is neither bullpen has been great. So I could see runs being scored. This total moved up from 8.5 to 9. I do agree with that. I think we could see this game go up and over the total. The Angels really had been struggling offensively for the better part of the last month. That's probably the biggest concern I would have with the over in this game. But the Angels did put up a 9 spot against Kansas City in the second game of that series against a good pitcher in Cole Reagans. And again, you're talking about quite a bit of mediocre bullpen arms that you're going to see here in this game tonight. So the door should be open for both of these teams to score runs tonight. Over 8.5, up to 9 now. I still like it. All right, next up, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Atlanta Braves. Christopher Sanchez, the lefty for the Phillies, and Spencer Schwellenbach for Atlanta. Even money pretty much here, both sides. 8 the total, shaded to the under. I would lean a little bit to Atlanta. I have not bet this game, but I think I like what I'm seeing out of Schwellenbach here, the young kid for Atlanta. And the way he's pitched for the majority of the season. You look at his recent form, he's given up 3 runs or less in 4 straight starts for the Atlanta Braves. I still have concerns about Sanchez when he pitches away from home. His road numbers haven't always been great. And historically in his career, Sanchez has had a worse time of it on the road than at home, and this year is no exception. 5.53 ERA for Christopher Sanchez on the road compared to just a 2.18 ERA for him when he pitches in Philadelphia. So he's on the road tonight. Braves coming off a frustrating 3-2 loss. They had a 2-0 lead. They couldn't hold it. Phillies come back and win 3-2. This is a huge game for Atlanta. Rubber match of this series. They're trying to, somehow close the gap between them and the Philadelphia Phillies. So I'm going to look toward Atlanta here. I do feel favor Schwellenbach a bit over Sanchez in this game. So at minus 110, for me, the play would be Atlanta here in this game to get the rubber match of this series. All right, Houston-Baltimore. We've got Spencer Spaghetti Arrighetti and Corbin Burns, the pitching matchup. Baltimore minus 150, home favorites, 8 the total. The question is, how's Corbin Burns going to pitch? And Houston, we just saw Houston get absolutely shut down by Cooper Criswell yesterday. And now you're facing, a very good pitcher, an ace pitcher in Corbin Burns, who is coming off a dismal outing in his last start against Boston. 8 runs, 10 hits, 4 innings. We are not used to Corbin Burns pitching like that. But he certainly got crushed in that game. We'll see how he fares here against Houston tonight. Oddly enough, he's made 2 starts against Houston. Corbin Burns, he's given up 9 runs in 12 innings. So it hasn't been great necessarily. Spencer Arrighetti, 4 runs, 7 hits, 5.2 innings in his last start. He's been kind of up and down. I think this for me would be, I like Baltimore to score. We'll see about Houston. I could see Burns bouncing back a bit. But I would probably go with a combo of either Orioles team total over 4.5 or take a shot with the full game over 8. And also hope that Corbin Burns, recent form where he has given up 5 runs or more 2 of his last 3 starts, and the fact he's given up 9 runs in 12 innings in his career against Houston could mean that the Astros could be able to do some damage here. So what I would probably look at here is some kind of a split here. Orioles team total over along with the full game over when it comes to Baltimore and Houston. All right, next up, it is the final game, actually, of this abbreviated Thursday MLB card. New York Mets, San Diego Padres. Luis Severino for the Mets, Dylan Cease for the Padres. San Diego minus 160, home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. You're obviously paying a premium here for Dylan Cease, thought to be one of the better pitchers in all of baseball. But Dylan Cease, the last 2 starts, against Miami, he gave up 5 runs and 6 hits in 5 innings. Last start against Colorado, 3 runs, 3 hits, 5.2 innings, but again, kind of labored through that one. Meanwhile, you've got Severino here for the New York Mets, a gem against Miami in his last start, complete game shutout, 4 hits allowed against Miami. But before that, he did struggle a bit, giving up 15 runs over a span of 13 innings prior to that complete game shutout gem that he pitched against the Miami Marlins. So which version of Luis Severino are you going to get tonight is going to end up being the big question. The Mets took 2 of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles earlier this week. You've got the San Diego Padres in pretty good form themselves. They took 2 of 3 at home from the Minnesota Twins. This is a game I don't have a strong feel for. I do want to point out earlier this year, though, Dylan Cease faced the Mets, and it was one of his worst starts of the year. 7 runs, 3.2 innings of work. We'll see if he can fare a little bit better in this game. I actually think there might be just a small bit of value with the Mets here at a plus price. Feel like the Padres are just a little bit overvalued. I'd actually think there could be runs in this game, but you are talking, a night game at Petco Park. The wind is really blowing in tonight at Petco Park as well. And even with some suspect, especially, not so much Cease. Cease could shut down the Mets, but Severino, has been capable. The wind's blowing in a bit in San Diego. It's enough to keep me off the total. But I do think at this price range right now, look, the Mets are 5 above 500 right now, that there might be a little value on them at the price. I just wish I had more faith in Severino, but I would lean a little bit to the New York Mets here with where this price is currently at plus 135. All right, we do have 2 preseason NFL games tonight in play. We've got the Colts taking on the Bengals. Indianapolis, a 6.5 point road favorite, 34.5 the total. This is an Amazon Prime game, by the way, with Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. And then the other game is Chicago and Kansas City, with the Bears a 2-point road favorite at Arrowhead, 32 the total. I've got Indianapolis in some money line parlays with Jacksonville, San Francisco, couple of teams this weekend where the lines moved. Carolina's another. Pittsburgh is another. There's a bunch of money line parlays I'm going with a lot of these teams that have taken money, and the teams that have taken money are good. There's good reason they've taken money. They're looking to play their starters longer. They're looking to solve some quarterback dilemmas. So that's why you're going to see, some of these situations where you've got teams taking money. Cincinnati has proven to be in the Zach Taylor era, not a team you want to be betting on in the preseason. They don't have a very good, particularly good preseason track record under Zach Taylor. So I understand why the money's come in on the Colts, but I don't want to lay 6.5 anymore. That numbers, I'd rather put them in a money line parlay with a few other teams. And then Chicago, Kansas City. I like the Bears. Look, they're undefeated, 3-0 in preseason. If you include that suspended game in the Hall of Fame game against Houston, where they were leading when that game got suspended, but 2-0 in completed games, but they had the lead in the Hall of Fame game as well. They look like a team that's been wanting to put their best foot forward and win preseason games. And why is that? Because they've had quarterback battles. They have a good quarterback rotation, even though we're not going to see any of Caleb Williams tonight. Look at the way Brett Rippon has played. Look at the way Tyson Bagent has played at quarterback for the Chicago Bears. So they're going to get the lion's share of playing time tonight in this game. And I think that's a good thing because they've been solid in the preseason for the Bears. So I think the Bears are favored on the road for good reason. I think there's a little bit more of a question mark as to what you're going to get from the Kansas City quarterbacks tonight after Carson Wentz leaves the game. and you will see Wentz for a bit. But after that, you're going to see a lot of Chris Oladukin and Ian Book after that. So what are you going to get from those two quarterbacks ends up being the big question. But I like the Bears here from a side perspective. And I know the reason why this total is down to 32 is because it has been a absolute barrage of unders here in NFL preseason football. No question. It's been a very low scoring NFL preseason year. And maybe this game is another one of those low scoring games, but I think this total is low enough where I could see it actually going the other way and going over the total. I like the Chicago quarterback rotation. They have had no problem putting up points here in the preseason. I think that Rippon and Bagent tandem in particular is very capable of moving the football and having success doing so. And putting up points for this Chicago team tonight in this game. There's a little bit more uncertainty with the third and the fourth quarterback that you're going to see tonight for Kansas City. But the fact remains with the Chiefs, even last week against Detroit, they got into the 20s. And like I said, with the Chicago Bears, what we've seen from them, they have had no problem scoring points here in their first three preseason games. And I think that's definitely something you want to be aware of. 21 against Houston, 33 against Buffalo. Think about that. They would have gone over this total all by themselves with the 33 points they scored against Buffalo, 27 last week against Cincinnati. This Chicago Bears team is putting up points. I think this total has just fallen too low at this point. And at 32, I like the Bears and the Chiefs to go over the total here tonight in NFL preseason action. All right, there you go. That is the Thursday MLB and NFL X preview and analysis. Let's wrap it up. We'll get to best bets in just one more time again to hammer it home because there's only 3 days left for this offer. 6 months all sports discount at Dub Club, $250 for the next 6 months at Dub Club. And again, this offer is valid only until Saturday. After Saturday, once Sunday rolls around, it goes back to the regular price of $400. It's the best bargain that I'll probably offer as far as the Dub Club subscription service all year. So you want to take advantage of it. 6 months, all sports, $250. And again, that offer is valid until the end of the day on Saturday. All right, best bet here for this Thursday MLB card. We did talk NFL preseason. Let's go with NFL preseason for best bet. Let's go to that Chicago, Kansas City over. 32, it's just too low. I get it. It's been a shit ton of unders. And if it's another under in this game, I'll take my lumps and I'll accept the defeat. But I think this total in this particular preseason game is now too low. I love what the Bears quarterback rotation and their offense has done here in the preseason. And I'm talking about not just Caleb Williams, who we're not going to see. I'm talking about specifically Tyson Bagent and Brett Rippon. They played well. I think they can put up points. They've scored in the 20s in every preseason game this year. And even with Kansas City, little more questions with them. I think they can contribute to the scoring here as well. And so I think this game is just now lined too low as far as the total goes. Let's take Chicago, Kansas City over 32. That's going to be my best bet for this Thursday edition of Bet with Bobano. Shout out to Timothy in the chat and everyone tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out. I'm Ian Cameron. Enjoy the games and good luck. Have a great Thursday night. Bet like Tony Soprano. Bet with Bobano. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Friday for another edition of Bet with Bobano.